And of course, yes, let's jump into it one time, In fact, we're riding into sport this morning because our first discussion is going to be with Jason Goodin, event coordinator of the Tobago Rainbow Cup. I said Tobago Rainbow Cup, International Cup. It's a triathlon event, and it's been happening here in Tobago for over 20 years. But recently, we have been told, or in fact, we saw in the media, some not so good news. So we invited Mr. Gooding to come and share with us what's really happening with the Rainbow Cup. So let me say good morning to you, Mr. Jason Goodin.
Hi, good morning, Marcus, and everyone, all the viewers.
Fantastic. You hear me clearly, right?
I am, yes.
Fantastic. Jason, in the build-up to, of course, inviting you on set this morning, I spoke about the Rainbow Cup happening in Tobago come the 7th of June. But even before I actually saw the date for the start of the event, I saw some disturbing news. I call it disturbing news. Given the fact that Tobagoans have welcomed the Rainbow Cup over 20 years, but I'm seeing that it's going to be the last year. Let's get into that discussion.
It's looking very possible that it will be the last year. It was a decision that we kind of made up that we were going to have that this was going to be the last year last year. But I did get convinced that this year we should try it again, just because of the lack of funding. It's for anyone that has been to the Rainbow Cup Tobago down at Turtle Beach, you would come down there and it's a spectacular sight when it comes to sports in Trinidad and Tobago. And we've built this event up. It started in 2005, right in the back of Grafton Beach, with only 35 people, and this is 35 adults, kids, everybody, 35 in total. Now we have anywhere ranging from 400 to 600. On a great year, we had 600 people participate, and this is not the spectators that came over to support their athletes. It's not the parents who came to support their kids. It's not these are just athletes that we were able to bring from Trinidad, Tobago, the region, Grenada, Barbados. We had somebody from Egypt one year coming over to participate in this event. So when you have an event like this, and we want to talk sport tourism, these events like this is what it brings revenue to Tobago. You may not see it, but everybody that has to come to Tobago has to stay somewhere. Everybody that comes has to buy food, has to get transport around. They want to go on tours. Just from the race point of view, the people that we rent tents from, the lifeguards, the guy that organizes our boats and to put the markers out in the water, kayak rentals, everything. Everybody has an opportunity to make money. We even have food vendors who come down on the site and sell food for the participants and spectators for the day. So there's an opportunity for everybody to make a little bit of change
Yeah.
for this event.
Yeah,
You may not even have something going on regularly.
yeah, and Jason, just for probably those who may be asking, because you mentioned that funding, lack of funding, may be one of the main reasons for not or considering not having it in Tobago again. If you can, on average, what does it take to host such an event in Tobago?
Upwards of $180,000,
Um,
and you may not see it, but that's what it costs to get everything that we need. Most of our stuff is in Trinidad, so we have to, we get Tobago Services to lend us their truck, and we get a big truck, and all the equipment comes over. I move my team from Trinidad, and so we all need accommodation. It's just my team alone. We need accommodation. So we've had hotels that have supported us in the past, and we're very grateful for the support that we've received in the past and so far. But at this point, after last year, when I after I paid off all my bills and all that stuff, I realized that I had to take $45,000 out of my personal
yeah,
money. So I had to go borrow money. I had to go and ask somebody to lend me some money so I could pay off my bills.
yeah.
Because of course I don't want to keep the people that came and provided services and rented me stuff. I don't want to keep them waiting. So it made me think I am going through all of this effort for everybody else to come and have the
Right.
opportunity to make money, for everybody, to all the athletes to come and have fun. Everybody comes and has a blast because it's a well-run event. And then at the end of the day, it costs me money.
Yeah.
I did it for a few years because the legacy of the event,
Yes.
what this means to Tobago, it's far beyond what you would think. Um, And it was something that my dad and I started 20 years ago, and to give up on that, I really tried to keep it going. And even though it was costing me money, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Maybe things will get better. Maybe we'll get some sponsorship. And then the sponsorship, everybody's just kind of like, nah, boy, we
Yeah.
can't help. We cutting back. And so after a while of everything cutting back and people can't help, and and then you're watching Carnival and you're watching all this bacchanal and money clearly being spent. But then I am suffering to try to put on a sporting event, which does great for our community. It gives our children discipline. It gives our children a goal to work towards. And I always tell everybody this story. When I was 14 years old, I had the opportunity or the choice of hanging out with a certain set of people or going to train on the track with Memphis Pioneers. And that's the path I chose. I went to Memphis Pioneers. Then I got invited to a youth triathlon. Then, I went and did that. I came sixth overall in the youth in my age group. And then I fell in love with the sport from then. And then went on to become national champion and maintained that for 9 years. Traveled the world doing the sport of triathlon, went to world championships, Commonwealth Games. Now I'm a technical official and international technical official level two. There were only three levels. So I've been to Commonwealth Games as a technical official, World Championships, and the last big thing that I went to was the Olympic Games as a technical official. All of this stemmed because I made that one choice to go to the training, to the running track, instead of hanging out with guys who were smoking and drinking and up to no good. And best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
So I mean, all of this is history, is legacy, and it's something I want to pass on. I want to give other people that opportunity, that through sport you could have a totally
Yes.
different life. And the people that get scholarships and all that stuff will know that the opportunities that sport allowed.
Yeah.
Whereas you
I,
go to a fete and
yeah.
what you're doing, you're driving home drunk most times. Next day you're going to work hungover. How is this benefiting? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to go to a party every once in a while and have a good time.
Yes.
But if this is where the focus is, from the corporate sector of Trinidad and Tobago, this is what we focus on rather than focusing on sport. And when we have young leaders growing up like that, these people are the ones that are going to get the university education, get the better paying jobs, and they are the ones that are going to be able to offer value to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, it's not rocket science to figure out that this is where we should put our focus on.
And Jason, I mean, between now and next year, let's say you come and you get a platinum sponsor. I mean, that can salvage, the legacy of this event here in Tobago.
Yeah, of course, for sure. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the only thing to bring me back right now.
Yeah.
The fact that I have to work for the rest of the year to pay for this event out of my pocket. So I mean, everything that I am doing, I'm now taking funds from there, and I mean, I do a bunch of jobs.
Yeah.
So I go down to Guyana and manage races. We have
Yeah.
Odyssey and events that we do, race timing and all that stuff. So I'm taking money from all of those other things to be able to pay for one event, which it shouldn't be like that, especially when they have the powers that be that have budgets for these things. We have government entities that have budgets for these things, and sometimes they
Yes.
feel like they think it's their own personal money and they don't want to. It's all about who you know and all these kind of things. But this is we're not a fly by night organization. We've been in Tobago for 20 years. And I remember coming here the first time to Tobago, people just didn't know how to pronounce the word triathlon.
Traveler.
Yeah, yeah, try Tatalon, try Atal, all kinds of ways that And then I realized over the years, people started knowing the
Yes.
name of the
I
sport.
appreciate it.
People started, when they see me, anytime they see, I could go to Tobago on holidays.
The household
And they
name
say,
now. Household
"Oh, no,
name.
that is triathlon." And I'm like, no, it's in June. I just over here because,
Right.
I would have come for
Yeah.
the Tobago Cycling Classic, or I would have come for something else. Um, but it was great to see that Tobago, we got the support from Tobago, we got the buy-in from Tobago, and community of BlackRock, tremendous. I mean, some
Tremendous, yeah.
people will pick up us or whatever, but at the end of the day, they come out there and they support the sport. The
Yeah.
athletes come and have a fantastic time in going through BlackRock, between Pleasant Prospect and BlackRock, which we close off. It's one of the only race courses that totally car free, and we have to thank ACP more about 8 or 10 years ago for
Yes.
actually allowing that. Because it'd been 10 years since we've been trying to get the roads totally blocked off, and I had to go in and say, wait, we're waiting for somebody to get knocked down, and
Yeah.
knocked down. That'll be the last time I ever put on an event in Tobago.
Yeah.
And then we tried it the first year, worked out well, and then after that it was a breeze. And so it is a little bit of discomfort for
The community.
the community,
Yeah.
but we are very thankful. We're very grateful for them, and hopefully they could see the benefit. I know some people in the community see the
See
benefit.
benefits. Yeah.
We get a lot of kids from the community coming out and taking part in the event, and we get a lot of volunteers from the community doing it, and people come on the side of the road and block it, and cheer on and that kind of thing. And then you can see the support even the week before, because we have cyclists and athletes coming in there from the Wednesday before the races on Saturday. It's always been the second Saturday for as long as we can remember. First race starts at 7 o'clock. Everything is done at Turtle Beach. And we have the standard distance triathlon, which is the distance they do at the Olympic Games, followed by the sprint, which is half of that distance. And at 11 o'clock, we have a 10 to 12 and 13 to 15-year-old race. And this is where we select our Carifta team.
Right.
So that goes on, and then it's side by side with that event, there's a try event, where for anybody that wants to try the sport of triathlon, this is the perfect opportunity to try that event, because the distances are short. It's like a 375-meter swim, a 10-kilometer cycle, and a 2.5-kilometer run. So I mean, almost anybody could do that with a little bit of training.
Yeah.
And then following that, we have a 3 to 5 year old, because my daughter, my smallest daughter is my youngest, is 3 years old. So I'm like, I throw in a category for her. So they are 3 to 5 year olds, the cutest little thing. I mean, they don't go far at all, but
Yeah.
it's fun to watch them compete, and that is giving them the spark to want to do this sport or any other sport as they
Yeah.
get older. And then we
Yeah.
have a 79 category, and after that we finish off with a 5K, and the 5K runs the same course as the triathlon, where you leave from Turtle Beach, you go down towards Pleasant Prospect, do the loop around Grafton Beach, and come back. And we always use Fish Hotel as a turnaround point to we run into the hotel and come back out. So it's a very nice and spectator friendly event, and we encourage everyone to come down. I encourage anybody that could lend a hand when it comes to financial contributions and sponsorship. Tobago has always been very tough when it comes to asking anybody to get any cash. The first thing I get is, "Nah, we can't help you, boy, things tough." For years and years and years, I've been hearing that. So sadly, I outside of the THA a few years ago, there's very little or to none of financial support from any of the Tobago businesses, and this should be a fantastic opportunity for your corporate social responsibility, to fulfill those um, corporate social responsibility needs, because you relying on the community for your business to succeed, but yet when it's time to give a little bit back to the community, it's a hem and a haw, and oh boy, things tough. And how I don't see the math there in that. So I'm making a plea to the Tobago community, the Trinidad and Tobago community, anybody that could support this event,
Yeah.
the powers that be, help me to maintain this event. And let's see it going for another 10 years. I would love that.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up at 20 years. I mean, I feel like we've already put in 20 years. Why not carry it on? And my sister's doing a fantastic job, and hopefully she could take over when I get old and gray, and she has extra 10 years on me. She could carry it, and then hopefully we get somebody else to keep it on. But I mean, wouldn't it be great to see this thing, like 30,
Continue.
40 years of Rainbow Cup?
Yeah.
And right here in Tobago, and we get more and more people coming down to the event, more and more people coming to Tobago. This will be a landmark event for Tobago, where people look forward to it every year. Tobagonians look forward, Trinidadians look forward to coming over. The regional athletes and spectators come over. They're looking forward to something in Tobago, and it can't always be bump and grind and that sort of stuff. It has to be something more fruitful, which is sport. And I would be very happy to get the support to be able to continue this event.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you have said it all there, Jason, and I'm very confident that you would have sold Tobago and of course, Trinidad and Tobago by extension for us to continue to have this wonderful event here in Tobago. I mean, 20 years is no easy feat, especially in the event management world, and something of such magnitude, I think, needs to be continued. So I'm hoping that obviously all the hundreds and thousands who normally view this program, that someone would have heard your plea this morning, and they will reach out to you to allow us to continue to have this wonderful event in Tobago, because you mentioned so many benefits, and as a while ago you mentioned that this is where you picked the character team as well, character team, right? And obviously sport tourism. So I want to thank you so much for being here this morning, Jason. I'm looking forward to the thousands and the hundreds coming to Tobago on June 7th, and not just the 7th, but they're going to come in before. Of course, enjoy Peace of Tobago, and I'm really hoping that, the powers that we can support the event going forward.
Thank you very much. And I have to follow the master show in Winchester when I say thanks to the media for always giving us the coverage and the support, because without the media, nobody would know about these things. Unless you physically come down to the event, you're not going to know about it. So thanks to all the media that has been supporting the event, Tobago and Trinidad, that write and give us, little articles and coverage and all that stuff. We really appreciate you guys. And we look forward to seeing you on 7th of June down at Turtle Beach.
Thank you so much.
If you need more information, you can go to rainbowcuptobago.com. That will give you all the information on the event, and everything is there, rainbowcuptobago.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jason. Looking forward to seeing you. Fantastic. Guys, we've been chatting there with Jason Gooding, event coordinator of the Rainbow Cup Tobago International Triathlon event. Still, I got some good vibes coming from him there. We expect that some entity, whether corporate or government, will jump on board to support the Rainbow Cup. Well, we take a break. We're going to take a short break and return with Joshua James. Joshua James, the cricketer out of Tobago, doing big things for himself, his family, and community. Take a short break. We return with Joshua James.